Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another daily devotion. I'm Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and we are working our way through the Gospel of Matthew. And today's devotion is Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 to 28. Also, I am recording this for broadcast on the morning of May 27th, which is a Friday of 2022. We had just gotten done yesterday with the devotion talking about the things that defile you. Jesus is being confronted by the Pharisees about his disciples not washing their hands before they eat. And so he's explaining that to his disciples. So it's all about what goes. It's not what goes into you that defiles you; it's what comes out is what he's talking about there. And some use that to talk about foods not being unclean. But it's interesting. We're not going to talk about that, but it's interesting that the next thing that we talk about after this thing about being unclean is the Canaanite woman's faith. Now, in Matthew's gospel, he doesn't go into quite as much detail about it as he does in Mark's. We have the exact same story in Mark, but in Mark it tells us that he is in a home. He's gone into a home. Now, this is not particularly a Jewish area. There's more Gentiles here, and here this story of this Gentile woman, this Canaanite woman, coming into the house apparently one would be led to believe that it's most likely a Gentile home because, boy, that would be a huge violation of purity laws and of proper decorum for her Gentile woman to march into a Gentile home, to be or into a Jewish home, to have it be Gentile in or a Gentile in the Jewish home. Oh my goodness, that would be wrong. And much the same as in Acts when Peter goes to the Gentiles' home, that was wrong as well. So here, Jesus in Matthew, they don't mention whether he's in a house or not, but we know from Mark that he's inside of a home. So there's some things we can draw from the story from both things. So let's jump into it and then we'll talk some more, shall we? Matthew 15, verses 21 to 28. Jesus left that place and went away to the district of Tyre and Sidon. Just then, a Canaanite woman from that region came out and started shouting, "Have mercy on me, Lord, son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." But he did not answer at all. And his disciples came and urged him, saying, "Send her away, for she keeps shouting after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, help me." He answered, "It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "Woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed from that moment. Okay. Um, these are some of those verses that are troubling to us. We always are bothered by this. Jesus is calling this woman a dog, and so I did hear one commentary saying, or commentator saying that the word here really means more like puppy. Well, it doesn't actually. It means more like a house dog. At least it's not a street dog. It's a dog that is inside the home. But Jews didn't typically have dogs in the home. That was a Gentile thing. Muslims and Jewish people don't have a lot of dogs, is my understanding anyway. So this is but this is not a street dog, not a mongrel per se, but still nonetheless it's uncomfortable. Jesus calling her, even if it's a dog that we have there as a companion, that's still an uncomfortable thing for Jesus to be referring to her in that way. Jesus is being a little bit um, rude, perhaps. But the thing is the thought is that he's coming back at her for her rude and inappropriate behavior, because if if he is in a Jewish home and she's barged in, oh my goodness sakes alive, that is incredibly rude. If it's a Gentile home, it's still rude, but if it's a Jewish home, way over the top, beyond rude. And so she has come and she's knelt before him. If she's gotten close to him as a woman, she shouldn't be doing that, especially not a Gentile woman, because she's going to make him unclean. And so she's outside of the norm, the societal norms, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. And so Jesus perhaps is giving a little bit of a pushback to her here. That's one of the thoughts. Or that he's just testing her to see, will she? How deep is your faith? If you meet resistance, are you going to persist to get what you need for your children? Are you going to be persistent when you know that you confronted God? She identifies him as Lord, Son of David. That's a messianic title. She recognizes him as who he is in a Jewish context, even though she's not Jewish. She's a Canaanite. So that's really interesting. So the point is, if trouble comes your way as you're trying to get to Jesus, to get his help, if you meet any resistance at all, are you going to just crumble and fold and walk away? Or are you going to keep moving forward and be persistent and say, but Lord, even the dogs deserve the crumbs that fall from the children's table. Um, you need to be faith. You need to have faith, but you need to have persistence as well in your faith. Don't just let any little thing that comes up against you, even if it's God trying you, perhaps, um, don't let you fall away. All right. I think that's what I've got for you today. All right. Have a very, very blessed day. And please, please, please be a blessing to someone today. We'll talk to y'all next week. All right. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. God bless.